Yes, I'm going to Cheltenham.
You shouldn't travel today. You don't look very well.
I have to. I have engagements. I must respect them.
Can you get the post, Hastings?
And why don't you go and get it yourself?
Très bien. What's going on? I've never known Hastings to be so disagreeable. Royal Mathematical and Statistical Society's Bulletin, September the 9th, 1935. The Alphabet Murder, a methodical madman. It's highly probable that the alphabet murderer will kill again. Could we possibly estimate the number of victims in his next crime? Yes, and it is easy. As soon as we know the ratio of towns, cities and villages whose names begin with a D and the ratio of English people whose names are spelled the same. On the one hand, the ratio of towns, cities and villages in England with a name starting with D, and on the other hand, the ratio of English people with a name also starting with D. After this initial calculation, it is easy to deduce the likelihood of actually being murdered if you belong to the target population. Go to the last page to find our results and details on the calculations. Daily Blag, August 31, 1935. Moustache at half-mast. Poirot's repeated failure in ABC case. Sometimes small things trouble great men. Hastings, faithful collaborator of the Belgian detective, knows something about it. 3 mornings in a row, he confided to us, the cook broke the egg yolks when preparing Poirot's breakfast. This apparently casual event has greatly disturbed my friend, to the point it breaks his concentration and slows his judgment. I also noticed his mustache, of which he is so proud, being duller than usual.
Poirot, I assure you I haven't said any such thing to the journalists. They twist everything.
Oh, he's offended because of his mustache.
Are you collecting the post, Poirot?
Yes, because you're lazy.
It is not the right time.
Oh, here we go
Poor
again.
Mr. Poirot. I'm quite sorry for you. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We've a long way to go still. Typery? No, that comes later. Letter T. The next little incident will take place in Doncaster on September 11th. So long. ABC. I should compare this letter with the one on my desk which I received earlier to see if it does indeed come from the same person.
Yep, and it will.
Hastings, he strikes tomorrow. Chief Inspector Japp?
He's on another line. Can I take a message?
Yes, please, mademoiselle. It is from Hercule Poirot. Tell him ABC strikes tomorrow in Doncaster. He must call me back.
Very well, sir.
Bien, now I'm going to see what I can find from these burnt documents. I've received the product I need. Hastings, if you do not mind, I would like you to take a few notes.
Yes.
Hastings seems like in a really bad mood right now. Maybe because he found out I broke my pen. Oh well.
Now, down to work. All of this needs putting in order a little.
A puzzle or something? Oh, right, here we go.
This page is finished. That's done. 3 more to go.
Maybe it's just me, but sometimes the puzzles aren't really good at explaining very well, and it's quite annoying. Hey! Oh, and then we put that stuff on it. So we'll put it on the cloth first.
A dry cloth.
Yeah. But should we blot the cloth?
A dry cloth.
Maybe.
A bottle of solvent. The cloth is now soaked with solvent.
Okay. And then we'll place it on here. It's purple. I think. Pinky purple.
Got it! Make a note, Hastings, make a note. Mrs. Alice Asher, shop owner in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, prescribed laudanum.
I got it. Look. Poirot, where on earth did you find these files?
On a fire at the bottom of the garden at campsite.
All right, but where did the person who burned them find them?
Alice Asher, shopkeeper in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, chronic cough with lots of blood. Prescribed laudanum-based cough medicine.
And that'll be why when on the pillow it was the blood.
Betty Barnard, waitress in Bexhill. Chronic bronchitis, causing dysphonia. Advised to stop smoking.
Which was causing our problems with her singing.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust. War wounded, mustard gas and head trauma. Pulmonary emphysema. Hemoptysis. Coughing fits with blood. Suffers from absences and amnesia.
And that's the killer.
Dick Dudley Dunbar, owner of the Black Swan Hotel in Doncaster. Asthmatic, heart disease, heart condition.
And that's the next
Let us
victim.
now try and get our brain cells to
That's
work.
the next victim. Why were these burnt though is the question. I think the killer is like working with Franklin or with Thora. I think if he was working with Thora it would kind of make sense because then she would actually know who it was and do a very vague description. Because why would she be interested in an old man? You know, I know for money and things, but it's still quite strange. So where did the burned documents come from? This one, and this one. The documents came from Dr. Clark's patient records, because we've seen that there were some that was moved.
The burned documents are medical records and without a doubt they come from Clark's archives. First of all, because all the patients have throat conditions. And secondly, their name starts with either A, B, C or D, and it is precisely the files that match these letters that have been tampered with.
But why burn these files? How come the names of the 2 victims appear on them? And who are the 2 other patients?
These are very good questions.
Oh, phone.
Hello, Poirot?
Any news, Chief Inspector?
You wanted a stocking seller? We have one. Reported by his landlady who thought he was behaving suspiciously. He has the most unbelievable name.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust.
Yes, Alexander Bonaparte Cust? How did you guess? Poirot, you have magical powers. It's a serious lead. I called Doncaster. A person matching Cust's description has been seen at the station. He got off the train from London, but after that, nobody knows where he went.
Indicate the Black Swan.
Look for him at the Black Swan Hotel.
What? How do you know he's there?
Trust me, Chief Inspector.
You appear to be very sure of yourself. Very well. I'll call the Black Swan straight away. The owner is going to get a shock when he learns that there's a murderer under his roof.
I will call.
Chief Inspector, I would rather call myself.
As you wish. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I will call.
Hello, the Black Swan. Hercule Poirot here. May I speak to the owner?
Speaking. Dick Dudley Dunbar. How can I help you?
Is there Mr. Cust among your guests?
He arrived today. Shall I call him for you?
No, speak to him.
No, it is you I wish to speak with.
But who is this Cust?
He's a killer.
A murderer.
A murderer? Under my roof? It's not possible. I don't believe it. Do you think that Cust might be dangerous? Oh, I do hope you're wrong. He seems so harmless, you know. Yes, completely harmless.
Warn him that Cust is dangerous.
Do not be fooled. He has already killed 3 people and you are next.
A murderer? Under my roof? Good God!
Oh, shit.
Dunbar, can you hear me? Dunbar! Hello?
Oh.
Dunbar has had malaise. That's all we needed. I'm calling the Doncaster police. I hope they get there quickly.
Oh my god, what if I've actually panicked him when he gets
Hello,
killed?
Poirot. We have some good news. The police in Doncaster have caught our man at the Black Swan Hotel.
Yay!
They're sending him here by train.
How is the hotel owner?
He had a heart attack.
Oh
He
shit!
was taken to the hospital.
Oh no. It is my fault. When I told him the killer was at his hotel, I should have been more considerate.
Oh my god.
Come on, Poirot. You weren't to know
I
he
didn't
had
know.
a weak heart.
I did know. Oh no.
But I should have known. I saw his medical records.
Do not torture yourself, Poirot. His attack was not fatal thanks to the quick intervention of the ambulance team.
Please keep me informed on his progress.
You can count on me. I'll do what's needed.
I will visit him at his bedside when the murderer is caught.
That's typical of you, Poirot. We should focus on the next part of the investigation in order to avoid other incidents.
No, of course.
While we're waiting to question Cust, we could search his room in London.
Where does he live?
The Marbury Guest House?
I'll see you there.
Yes, but start without me. First of all, I have to sort out a few details for Cust's transfer.
I understand. À bientôt. Hastings, we are making good progress. Please go and search the room of our #1 suspect.
With pleasure. I did have a dentist appointment, but I'll cancel.
The dentist. So that is why you were so nervous and bad-tempered.
A visit to the dentist is never an enjoyable prospect.
Nope.
But an unavoidable one. Go to your appointment, Hastings. I will manage on my own.
I can't believe I almost killed the guy. Everything I was trying to do to prevent that, and almost killed him.
To
with my
Marbury Guest
words.
House, please.
Oh, I hope he's going to be all right. Oh damn. Oh.
Marbury. There is a very pretty village by this name, in Cheshire. I've been going past this modest guest house for so long. I would never have thought that the ABC case would lead me here.
How do you do? You must be Mr. Hercule Poirot. Chief Inspector Japp told me that you might be coming.
Tell her that she is of great help. Get annoyed seeing her peel potatoes. Oh well, she has to work, so tell her she is of great help.
Madame, you may be of valuable help to me.
It would be my pleasure to help you. Will there be some journalists there as well?
I think you might even be interviewed. You are key witness.
I've suspected him for some time, but he appeared so harmless. Oh yes, sometimes he got angry and waved his arms about. But even then, he wasn't frightening. And he was as gentle as a lamb again immediately afterwards. It was only this morning that I understood. He told me he was going to Cheltenham, but my daughter saw him at Euston Station. It's not the right station. To get to Cheltenham, you have to take the train from Paddington. And what's more, Mr. Cuss left behind an ABC with Doncaster underlined. As you can imagine, when I saw that, I called Scotland Yard.
Congratulate her for observation. Ask her how she knew about the ABC. Probably she knew from the papers, but we'll ask her anyway, just get her own insight.
One moment, please. How did you know that Cust had underlined Doncaster in his railway guide?
I went and had a look in his room.
Oh.
I see. Do you make a habit of searching through your lodger's belongings?
Well, what are you going to do later? I bet you're going to poke around his room too.
Tell me, did you have any other reason to suspect Mr. Cust?
He's rather queer. He talks to himself. He has a bad cough. Because of the war, he says. And then he was in Churston when that millionaire got murdered. I found his train ticket when I washed his coat. He didn't want me to wash his shirt. He washed it himself. But I did see big brown stains on it.
Ask her if it was blood. Ask where the stains were. Ask her if it was blood.
Do you think it was blood?
It might have been.
Cust used to travel for his work. Is that correct?
Yes, although he was unwell on trains.
Do you know where Cust was at the time of the murder in Andover and Bexhill? On June the 21st and July the 25th?
No idea.
But surely you keep a register.
It won't do you much good. Mr. Cuss rents his room for the year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it. Ah, I remember one thing. Bexhill's by the sea, right?
Indeed, it is a large seaside resort.
Well, as it happens, at the start of July, Mr. Cust asked me to repair his bathing dress. Suspicious, huh?
Pointed that Bexhill is not the only seaside resort. We'll ask her to continue.
Very interesting. Please continue.
I also forgot to say that he started buying newspapers that talked about the case.
Ask for more details about the newspapers. Ask when he started buying newspapers. Ask for more details.
Which newspapers?
The evening ones and the daily ones.
That will be all for now. I'm going to take a look at his room.
Take the key on the counter. I don't think my register will help you. Mr. Cuss rents his room all year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it.
The truth is becoming apparent, and I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury. I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury.
I will, in a minute.
This woman appears to be in a bad mood.
Probably because we spoke to her.
Mrs. Marbury is taking out her bad mood on the evening meal's potato.
Potato is a bit fusty.
Mrs. Marbury, if I am to believe the register, you rented room 306 to a certain Mr. Fishman on the day of the Bexhill murder. Room 306 is Cust's room. Can you explain yourself?
If I did, it was because Mr. Cust wasn't here. What about it?
It doesn't matter, provided that you remember to change the sheets.
Of course I changed them. I keep a nice clean establishment, I'll have you know.
Okay, maybe that was what I wanted to say.
Mrs. Marbury is taking out her bad mood on the evening meal's potato.
Let's have a look over here, see if there's anything we can have a look at. Okay.
It looks like I've found the real master of this house.
The cat. Yeah, pretty cat. It's so sweet.
There is no need to worry about the household cat. I'm sure that Mrs. Marbury lets it do what it pleases.
Yeah, well, the cat owns the let's play the piano.
It is a very beautiful piano. Maybe Mrs. Marbury likes to play in her free time.
Let's go upstairs now. Check out his room. Typewriter with the strange eyes and
How
beads.
hopeful. This place is a real mess.
Yep, the dirty dishes.
The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
Oh, that much.
The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
Can we look over here? Medicine.
Laudanum Cameron's Chemists. Laudanum, a medicine for coughs. It is what Dr. Clark prescribed for Mrs. Asher. This subject would probably be useful to me.
Why is he collecting them? Very strange. This will be for Betty, that's her name. I think.
Diethyl barbituric acid, Johnson Company. I know this medicine. It is a powerful sedative.
Or not, then no.
This subject would probably be useful to me.
Sedative.
The Bexhill Daily paper, dated from the day of the Bexhill murder. Most probably the basting dress repaired by Mrs. Marbury's expert hands. All the main articles referring to the ABC case are here, from the Churston murder onwards. Nothing before that date. Trousers, white shirts, everything has been washed very well.
Okay. Let's look over here. Let's look at that
It's an ABC.
knife. That'll be the murder weapon he used.
A long-bladed knife. A murderer's weapon. This subject would probably be useful to me. Did Cust drop it when he opened the window? Or was it Mrs. Marbury while she was cleaning? Cust is parsimonious. He keeps his pencils and sharpens them until there is nothing left. It is clear that he did not grow up in luxury. I have to get the ribbon. How am I going to do it?
Alright. Okay.
The ribbon is jammed. I have to start by freeing it.
Okay.
The left-hand heel has been removed. The right-hand heel has been removed.
There we go.
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used to write the letters sent by ABC. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Japp clean the keyboard if he wishes.
Yeah, there's the eye right there.
All the letters announcing the murders were written on Cust's typewriter. John Milligan, Managing Director, Silky Legs, Frederick Street, Leicester. To A.B. Cust, Marbury's Guest House, 1935, May the 21st. Dear Sir, further to our letters dated 5th and 10th of the month, we confirm we are you as door-to-door salesman, according to the conditions stated in our previous letters. We will send you the articles by mail and also a Redfield typewriter you will be using for every business letter. Regarding the schedule of your rounds, please do as following. June 21, Andover. Arrive by train the 20th in the evening and get a room at Station Hotel. Start your turn in the north part of the town. This letter establishes that Cust went to Andover, but the ink has hidden the destinations of his other trips. I know from Mrs. Marbury that he went to Churston. I just have to show that he went to Bexhill, and I will have proved that he was present at all the crime scenes.
So
ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders.
Yeah.
It's closed. This knife is very useful. Who knows? Maybe it never cut anything other than string.
I doubt that highly.
Stockings.
Where was Cust attended Bexhill murder? Here we go. Bexhill murder. Did someone else rented it? Cust probably in Bexhill on the day of the murder.
The register shows that Cust did not sleep at the guest house on the day of the murder. Where was he? Bexhill. The Bexhill paper reveals it. Cust bought this newspaper in Bexhill on July the 25th. This dark stain. It could be blood, but goodness knows how long it has been there. No use continuing the inspection of this room. I've seen all there is to see.
So let's go back downstairs. Yes, talk to Japp.
Goodbye, Mrs. Marbury. Thank you for your help.
I look forward to seeing you again, Mr. Poirot.
Ah, Chief Inspector. I was about to leave.
Good evening, Chief Inspector. Welcome. Please excuse me, I must go to the kitchen. I'll leave the key of Mr. Cust on the counter.
I'm sorry I'm late. I've spent ages with the Doncaster police. And you?
I have established one fact. On 3 occasions, Cust was at the scene on the day of the crimes.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Was it possible for Cust to have killed the 3 victims? Or the typewriter, the knife, activity guides. He could have committed these crimes. Is Cust's behaviour suspicious? He keeps the newspapers, he lied about his destination, and he has blood on him. Yeah, he's guilty.
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABCs in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis.
Oh, hemoptysis.
The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes. Yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can you talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury has confirmed this.
He may have done the murders in an altered state.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a murder without wanting to.
Très intéressant. I shall remember that.
Right. I'll go and examine the suspect's room.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to examinatum.
All right, we'll discuss them tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to see if you've missed something.
This man is not in good shape.
I don't think it's him. It's too obvious to show that it is. I think he's just very suspicious of his actions, but I don't know.
He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
I think we're supposed to suspect him. He is like the obvious look, and it looks like a killer kind of thing, and his actions speak like, oh my god, he's a murderer. But I think there's going to be another twist to this.
What do you want from me?
Ask if he knows who is speaking to him. Ask who he is. Present yourself. Present myself.
Good day, Mr. Cust. I am Hercule Poirot.
Ah, you're the detective.
Talk about the letters. Ask why he sent the letters. Talk about them. Yeah, ask why he sent them. No, let's talk about them. Talk about the letters.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Acknowledge his innocence. Get him to admit that he has forgotten. No.
Maybe you forgot that you wrote these letters.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes I forget. Maybe I did type them.
Ask if he is capable of killing. Accuse him of being a killer. Admit that you do not believe he is a murderer. Ask him capable.
Are you capable of murder, Mr. Cust?
All these questions are giving me a headache.
Insist on the fact that he enjoyed the war. Get him to talk about the army. This one seems a bit nicer to say than that you enjoyed the war. Get him to talk about it.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But The army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions, just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
Accuse him of Dr. Clark's murder. Accuse him of the 3 murders. Get him to believe he is innocent. I say the 3 of them because they're all linked.
But you killed him, as well as 2 other people.
That's what they all say.
Ask him if he acknowledges going to the 3 towns. Say that witnesses saw him in the 3 towns. No, they didn't see him. They seen a salesman, but they didn't say it was him. So acknowledge if he acknowledges going to the 3 towns. But then again, it was a salesman. So yeah, there was witnesses who they did describe him.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards.
So it appears that you typed them before sending them to yourself. It proves that you wrote them.
So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
Oh.
He is prey to a terrible anxiety. Is it remorse?
This is dative.
Or simply the pressure of the questioning and the train journey?
God, is this the dative one? No, it's not that one. This one.
Take this. It will help you.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes, I know.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
And what conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
What do you know about Cust's health? He has the hematitis? Hematitis. Something like that. It brings up blood when he coughs. Okay, he suffers from absences, so like amnesia, and he has a problem with his throat. Cus is mentally and physically weak, not really the profile of our killer. Yeah, because you think about it, how they all died. For Mrs. Asher, she was hit in the back of the head. You'd have to have some real force enough to hit her to kill her. Betty was strangled, again, full force enough to... Just to say, if anyone heard that, there's an ice cream fan that just went past, so if that picks up on the microphone, I do apologise about that. Yeah, so Betty, it was like strangulation, so again you'd have to have real force in order to hold her back. And for Mr. Clark, he got slits in the throat, but again, like the detective went and said, the blood would be on him. There would be there wouldn't be blood on him because it was spurted the other way. But at the same time, he would have to have the energy to do so like that. Because it's not just like a quick done. It's not like a scalpel thing or even that. It's just like a normal knife, and he'd have to like stand up and actually go over to this person. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's him. I feel like there's going to be a giant twist, and because it just feels like we found the killer and that's it. I don't think this is it. Anyway, so are there any clues that do not support Cuss' guilt in the Charleston murder? You expect the murderer's shirt to be stained in the sleeves, not the buttonholes, yet we see the quite opposite. Any clues that do not support Cuss' guilt? Say I didn't recognise him. And we would know who Poirot is by him sending letters directly to him, but he had no idea who he was, unless he forgot. And he only started collecting stuff after the murders, them ones. There are several details which show that Cuss is not guilty. Can we say without a shadow of doubt that Cuss is guilty? He had no reason to kill them. He had blood on him. No? He's not guilty.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cuss admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cuss killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then he confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Cuss clever? No, because he just takes orders. Mediocre. Killed in the street was packed with people. That's rather bold, self-confident. He has no confidence. Easy to influence. The man seduced Betty before taking her to the beach where he strangled her. Oh no, I posted that one actually. Yeah, without any charm. A passenger timetable. Maybe the murderer likes trains. No, he does not like them. The killer is methodical and prepares his crimes I'm sorry. Meticulously? I can't pronounce that. He never forgets to leave his intriguing signature behind. So it's cold. Let's see that one. Yeah. So he is cold. Without the ABC, we have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser, but by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure that he is accused. In a way, it was very generous of him. Miserably. Because he's got his little blunt pencils.
You see? Cuss' character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.